Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. So today, for your pleasure, I'm playing the second new heavy cruiser that the British get, and finally, they got some cruisers equipped with 8-inch guns to, be somewhat competitive at 5.7. And indeed, the HMS London, the County Class 69 from 1945, sits at battle rating 5.7 at rank 5. And as you can see, it has also some bite. However, this is not a review, this is a mere first impressions, because the game mechanics have really changed when it comes to the damage models, when it comes to how fragile ships are, how it works all out. So I cannot make really a review. This is merely a first impressions, and I want to talk you through about certain changes, game mechanics, etc., but also talk about the ship. Before we do that, actually, there is one thing that I need to get out there, and this is a situation that I never thought I feel responsible in any way, shape, or form. It has to do with the coronavirus. I don't want to get here in any way, shape, or form politically active here, because this is about gaming, but this is indeed a serious situation. And I feel a little bit responsible to entertain you people out there, to stay inwards. Who thought that, that shooting at stuff on the screen or on the monitor, aka gaming, would save us all one day? It's interesting times that we're living in, right? Just let that sink in, just what an absurd situation that is. Very often doing nothing is kind of the hardest thing. And yet here we are. So I know this is crazy, but I hope that I can add here a few minutes to your daily enjoyment, so that you just stay inwards. Take a break from playing War Thunder, just lean back and enjoy the video about this new ship. So, the HMS London, what do I think about it? Well, first of all, thankfully, finally Britain got a ship that has some big guns. And it is overdue, because, to be honest, the HMS Hawkins was the greatest meme gaijin ever introduced as a competitive ship back when it was at 5.7. Now it's 5.3, who would have thought? So the HMS London basically is like an Admiral Hipper from its raw statistics. I'm not talking about the armor, I'm just talking here about the mere main guns. You have 4 twin 8-inch/50 Mark 8 cannons with 1,200 rounds of ammunition and a reload of 12 seconds. So basically you have the same shells in the air per minute as the Admiral Hipper. The great difference lies both in the survivability, but also in the protection, the firepower, the effective damage output, because at first it's not really that bad, but there is something missing. Currently we have now 3 shells available, and that is really good, but you see me only using 2 because there are only 2 shell types available. And I think that AG has significantly been nerfed when it comes to the effect on in particular cruisers, not on destroyers, but in particular on cruisers. And the stock 8-inch high explosive shell, that is its name actually, has a mass velocity of 855 meters per second. That is not terrible, but obviously Hipper, and especially in general the German ships and the Soviet cruisers, have higher mass velocity. But it's not the end of the world. You have an explosive mass of exactly 10 kilograms of TNT. Funnily enough, that is 62 millimeters of penetration. The German, for example, on their 8-inch guns have 8.9 kilograms of TNT, so you're in theory a bit stronger. But it doesn't really show. Then the 8-inch Mark 1B SAP CBC round is, well, the SAP round effectively, and it has also 855 meters per second mass velocity, a bursting charge of 5.2 kilograms of TNT, and a penetration at point blank range of 263 millimeters, and at 10 kilometers of at least 165. So that is then at 10 kilometers as strong as the German 8-inch SAP at point blank range. And you need that extra penetration because there is no armor piercing round, so you can't punch clean through, especially angled armor at long ranges. This severely reduces the effectiveness of the ship in War Thunder. However, then the SAP is, when you get a decent salvo in, it deals a lot of damage because its bursting charge is twice as much as on the pure AP CBC round of the German AP. And just to put here things into perspective, on the other hand, the bursting charge is roughly the same as on the German SAP, but again, therefore you have more penetration. So that covers the firepower, and then we have the secondaries, of which you have 4 twin 102 millimeter 4-inch 45 Mark 16 cannons with 1600 rounds of ammunition, and they have the normal HE. They have then also some SAP. Then they have some high explosive with time fuse, and then they also have some high explosive variable time, aka proximity fuse shells, which are then as good as it gets for ships when it comes to long range anti-aircraft firepower. The bug that the shells just don't adapt for the kind of drop and also the slowing down in flight. Gaijin's autogunners just simply don't calculate that in with the autogunners. Then you have a whopping amount of 40 millimeters. You have 2 octagonal 2-pounder quick-firing Mark 8 automatic cannons with nearly 36,000 rounds of ammunition and a lot of 20 millimeters. This gets rounded up by 8 533 millimeter Mark 9 wet heater torpedoes in 2 quadruple launchers, 1 per side. And then we come to the armor, and so first of all, the turrets have only 25.4 millimeters of armor. That's Mogami-like. That's Mogami level, so practically 1 inch of armor. The main citadel is protected by 88.9 millimeter rolled homogeneous armor, but the bulkheads are also only 1 inch. So the ship is not really that tanky. Deck armor 35 millimeters on the main citadel. However, then there is the magazine, and the magazine is tiny, way below the waterline, but its deck armor is somewhere between 76 and 25 millimeters. The side armor, then deep below the waterline, is again 25 and 102 millimeters. So it's more the positioning rather the armor on the magazine that protects it. The ship also loses very quickly a lot of crew to high explosive spam from light cruisers, from heavy cruisers, and especially Admiral Graf Spee is still king of the waves. That is very simply down to the fact that, well, it is a ship designed to kill off ships like these, yet they have the same battle rating because Gaijin. And again, this is introduced sometime later. There is another mechanic, and you begin to see its effect right here. Not enough crew or free crew members for repair available. And this is one hell of a really unreliable mechanic. I've seen it to start off here, if I see this correctly, at 40%. I also seen it kick off at 20%. Then I regained the ability again. And you see, now I can repair again and stop the flooding. If this is active and it stays active, you can't repair anything on the ship. You can't extinguish fire, you can't stop the ship from flooding, you can't pump out the water, you can't also repair broken gun systems, etc., or machinery. And this is a very punishing mechanic because it punishes people even further that try to make a game, that want to push in and just, capture a capture point or just want to fight to bring to the enemy. It punishes, in short, active gameplay. And the mechanic is unreliable, unpredictable, and I have no idea how to judge it. Again, one of those things that I hope Gaijin will remove because nobody really asked for it as far as I'm concerned and as far as I'm aware. And I think it takes away so much from the game. This is like taking away parts in FPE. And also remove the ability to stop flooding, which is a stock ability of a ship. I mean, I understand it here at 1%, but again, just let's have a look at the effect. I'm down to 1% crew, and I'm slowly but surely flooding. But nobody is shooting at me anymore. I killed the last aggressor, right? And all I have to worry from at the moment are aircraft. Again, the anti-aircraft firepower, the British Navy has seen a significant improvement also to the previous cruisers, whereas before I think the HMS Tito was the only one with a proximity fuse shell. Now the HMS Arethusa, the HMS ZS Leander, the HMS Southampton, and also the HMS Tiger got the proximity fuse with also the main caliber and the secondaries, which is really, really good if you really hate aircraft. And also the addition of the third ammunition type available to bring into battle offers now this as a possibility, you know, to take not just those proximity fuse shells for your secondaries, for your dedicated anti-aircraft guns, but also for your main guns, much like the Brooklyn could from day one. So from the accessibility of the ammunition type. So that was a more than mandatory buff to the British. And there you can see I can't do anything against the flooding. This is just me slowly dying. It looks good, it looks cool, you know, the slow capsizing, but it's infuriating. It is absolutely not what I want. This is absolutely not what I'm playing here. Dying slowly. It makes the gameplay of naval forces even less attractive. And again, I hope I could make this now here with an objective look at some first impressions on the HMS London. A ship that I would have loved to be introduced earlier with its current capabilities, but it was not to be. And there I died to damage that I've taken minutes ago. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I could keep you indoors for a few more minutes. Take care and stay safe. And as usual, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if it did. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as usual, we'll see each other on the battlefields, in the skies, and on the waves of War Thunder.